All right, here we are. Episode 2, motherfuckers. Ray Dietrich, Josh Ortegon, Phenom Fitness and Nutrition. What's up, dude?
Chilling, man. What's up?
You like I get the F-bomb out of the way, bro?
All right, gotta get it out of the way.
I clearly define this podcast as explicit from the beginning. So
Don't we have what about the old didn't we have an old curse jar that we were working with at one point? Remember that? Every time we cursed on an important call, you owed $1 into the jar or something like that?
Lots of money got spent.
Yeah. They can finance everything.
So we're here to talk about something cool this week. We're talking about ourselves again, but I have a little lead in here. We were just talking about this right before I hit record. Look at this baggy shirt, okay? It's kind of hard to see. Obviously, it looks like I've wrapped a drape or a sheet around myself 2 months ago, and the last 10 or 15 years before that, I was XLs all day. This is an XL baggy. Thank you, Phenom Diet. That's what we're here to talk about. Phenom Diet, right?
Phenom Plan, yep. The all-inclusive plan. First one you've ever done.
I'll tell you what, I was the guinea pig. I have been through this thing for a minute. I think I'm 8 weeks into it, something like that, 8 or 9 weeks, whatever it is. As of right now, I'm 8 pounds and 4 inches. 8 pounds off, 4 inches off my waist.
Nice.
I feel crazy good, but I really embraced it. And we're going to get into this thing, but I followed it, dude. Like, you talk compliance, I never went over. My only non-compliance would be a little bit under if I couldn't force myself to eat.
Yeah. Our biggest problem with you was getting you to eat enough of the food, right? That was the hard part. Which is not uncommon, man. I see that all the time, especially with women. Women will send me their macros. They're like, what do I do? I'm so far under. It's 6. It's 6 o'clock. What do I do? I mean, that's part of compliance, is getting all your calories in.
It's hard. That's the hardest part for me. But you know, what I learned, and we'll get into exactly what this is, but the tracking macros, I had never done that. And getting into that world, it taught me so much about what to eat. I think it's as important to know what your numbers are for the day as it also as important to learn about what your food is. Like, the macros teach you what's good and what's bad and what has what. And it's so surprising. When you, little things, I don't drink any cream in my coffee or sugar in my coffee. I used to drink 6 cups a day. Now I'm down to 2, but I'm cold brew now, bro. And when I pick up a Starbucks drink that I used to just grab at the liquor store every time I was going through, and it's got 30 carbs and all this sugar, drinking your calories is a real thing. And when I cut that completely, a lot of things changed. It's huge.
You know, one of the guys from the group is Mike Wines, who's going to be involved in our coaching program, and we're going to bring him in for coaching and stuff like that. One of the things, being friends with him for so long, that he's taught us is that doing nutrition plans for people is more than just giving them macros and leaving them alone. It's education, right? Educating them on lifestyle. What are good macros? How to eat, actual coaching. There's a lot of companies out there, man. And now I've been guilty of it, and I've done it with some people, where you just hand them macros and you leave. You hand them macros and they're done. And that's not education. That's not teaching people really how to eat. And that's one thing we want to do with this group, is teach people how to. And what you're talking about is, wow, I'm actually learning how to eat.
Yeah, and it's funny because I'm the marketer here, right? So I'm never the guy who's trying to pretend like I'm an expert in this fitness and nutrition world, but I am embracing it completely. When you say all in, I am all in. If Josh says go eat 124 grams of protein tomorrow, I'm eating that. I do what he says, and it works. Yeah. And dude, I got to be real, man. I'm feeling like I'm in my 20s again.
Sure.
You know, and I'm knocking on 43, so I'm super stoked. So why don't you tell us what the hell we're talking about? What is this monster you've created, bro?
So what we wanted to do, and we originally came out with the Phenom Plan, and we call it a diet plan because it really is our first diet, was I wanted to build a nutrition plan and a fitness plan that worked together. I wanted to create a one-stop place that somebody could go into and learn how to eat right, how to work out right, how to track their macros, how to get educated on quality food, give them everything they needed to change and get control of their life. Because that's what, lately when I've been talking to people, that's what my conversations have been. Hey, you now have every skill and every tool you need to get control of your life from a nutrition and fitness side. You don't need anything else. You have it all right here. The only thing you have are excuses now.
Well,
right?
The phases that you do is pretty smart. Like, even if someone's great at nutrition but sucks at working out or vice versa, like there's places to fit into this, right? So why don't you tell them a little bit about that?
One of the things I've taken from other people who have done things like this is that they've created ongoing plans that people can use forever, right? There's a guy out there that created a workout plan called the 5-3-1 workout plan. And you literally can do the 5-3-1. It's a squat, bench, overhead press, deadlift plan. You can do that plan and follow the numbers. I know people that follow that for 3-4 years, right? And I wanted to develop a plan that people could literally follow forever. Like, it never runs out. Like, this isn't a 6-week plan. Oop, what do I do now? An 8-week plan. Up, what do I do now? This is a 3-phase plan. You have phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 of nutrition that goes with phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 of the fitness plan. And I think of it like beginner, intermediate, and advanced. But you don't have to go. They're set up to go through the processes every 4 weeks. So yeah, it could be a 12-week plan, but you can literally stay in phase 3 forever. Right. Now, we're going to come out with a maintenance plan, right? Because there are going to be people who get a caloric deficit. They hit their goal weight. Now what? Because what do we see all the time? People hit a goal weight, they get a plan, and what do? They gain 20 pounds back, right? So we're going to eventually come out with a maintenance plan where, hey, I hit my goals. How do I set a happy medium maintenance plan that I can do for the rest of my life, right? And so phase 1 could be, somebody could stay in phase 1 for 10 weeks because that's where they're at. All they want to do is a very simple little workout plan and be in a little bit of a caloric deficit, learn how to eat healthy and be fine. Or then they can move into phase 2 where it's a little bit more workout, a little bit more of a caloric deficit. Or they can go into phase 3 that's, pretty much balls to the wall, right? Phase 3 is no joke.
It's awesome.
Phase 3 is 4 days a week of working out. You're carb cycling, you're calorie cycling, and you're in a good, pretty solid 20-25% deficit, right? But we don't just throw that on them right away, right? We don't take a person who's kind of been working out here and there, kind of trying to eat right all the time, and all of a sudden we drop it's kind of like taking somebody who's used to kind of jogging with their buddies in the neighborhood and then throwing them in the Boston Marathon. Well, we're not doing that.
You don't want to make it too hard. Like, if you set people up for failure and you're bringing them into the high end, like, nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to do stuff that's uncomfortable, doesn't work, it's too hard, they don't get it.
Well, you've worked in business where you've helped people get money. The first dollar is the most important dollar, right?
Huge.
And when we talk about people in weight loss, like, I got a girl I'm working with right now, right? And she's actually been in the fitness industry for a long time. She's actually been competitive in the fitness industry before, like on stage. And just life kicked your ass, right? Sometimes life kicks your, dude, you know what it's like, bro. You were a cop for 20 years, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes life kicks your ass.
True.
And she literally transparently came to me and said, I'm overweight. I don't like it. I don't know what happened. All of a sudden I'm here. I've got all this stress, and all of a sudden it's like I look, and we're 2 days into her diet plan. She's followed up for 2 days, and she goes, I already feel better.
Oh yeah.
That's a successful thing to celebrate. You have to celebrate the victories, because I had to talk her out of the side of, hey, when will I be skinny again? Nah, you can't do that. That's like saying I'm going to start a business. When will I be a millionaire?
Right. Doesn't work like that.
Doesn't work that way, right? You're going to have ups and downs, and I tell them you're going to have ups and downs, and I tell them in this plan, in the onboarding plan, I tell them you're going to mess up at places. You're going to screw up. You're going to have a day where maybe stress hits you and maybe you're a stress eater. You're going to have bad day. You're going to go on a 2-day vacation and not do it, right? That's going to happen. The best thing you can do is get back on the plan the next day, right? Get back on the plan the next day. So we do address the mindset here. You have to address the mindset.
It's all mindset. Like, I've been running hard with what you've been telling me for almost 3 months now, right? Overall, like, you know, I had to ease into it and stuff, but now we're into like Habitville. Like for me, like and look, I've been in good shape before. Like this isn't brand new to me, but the nutrition side is. I'm not going to lie. Like the nutrition side is a whole different world for me. And now I'm into like habits to where, dude, like I'm like, all right, yeah, I went to see Joe Rogan on Saturday, right? I'm down there in Temecula and SoCal, and it was awesome. Like Jocko Willnick's walking by and meeting Dan Henderson, and it's a trip, dude, right? So I go, hey, I'm just gonna eat whatever the fuck I want, right? Like whatever. I'm on vacations, Joe Rogan, whatever. So I like go out to dinner with my daughter, and I'm like, I'm gonna eat whatever I want. You know what I end up with, dude?
Like chicken and vegetables.
No, it was ribeye, asparagus, and cauliflower mash, and I'm like, wait a minute, what just happened here? But it was what I wanted, bro. That's the difference. Like, I've never ordered vegetables before. Like with my steaks, it would have been mashed potatoes and whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's just I've changed the way I eat, and I don't ever drink my calories, bro. That alone, you've ingrained it in me. Just from especially what I like about the Phenom Plan. The biggest part is what you talked about already. And look, I'm not the professional guy, so I have like the layman's user.
Yeah.
Right? For me, I can go keto and cut carbs like the best of them. But do I want to do that forever? Like every single day forever? That is tough. Tough.
Yeah.
In this plan, you've got it laid out in carb cycle. I want you to talk about that because on your lifting days, now this is way deep into a phase 3, right? Like I think that's only a phase 3 thing, but
yeah.
On your lifting days, you're giving up more carbs, and it's beautiful.
We only carb cycle on phase 3, right? Because you have to learn to eat right and be in a deficit. Like I've had people come to me and want a carb cycle right off the bat, and I think if I let them do that, I'm setting them up for failure. So I say, hey, let's just work in a deficit, eating the same macros every day, getting up and going to work out, and being in a deficit and get consistency. Let's do that for 8 weeks. Then we'll look at some cool carb. Because I got people, because, you know, they all want to do what I do.
Right.
Hey, you carb cycle, you do it. I've also logged my food for 937 straight days.
Right. Yeah. Right? And you've lifted weights like every week for 25 years.
Yeah. Right. And so I'm a strength coach in a high school environment. And I talk to all the kids all the time about food. And they said, well, what do you do? And I told them, and they said, well, do you track food? I said, I've tracked food 937 straight days. I said, you know, some of these girls are juniors and some of these guys are juniors in high school. I'm like, yeah, I've tracked food since the day you became a freshman. Right. But that's not realistic for people. Right. So in a carb cycle environment, we go with the concept of nutrient timing. It's a concept they call nutrient timing, where you heard people say, earn your carbs. That's a cool thing in the food eating industry. We eat our carbs around our exercise and our fitness because that's when we need the energy and the carbs. So on the days we work out, we're getting more carbohydrates because we're using them as muscle, using them to fuel our workout. When we're not fueling our body for a workout, we're eating less carbs. Now, what's crazy is when you really get into nutrient timing is the third largest carb meal of the day. Like this is like advanced 2.0. Their third largest carb meal will be at night. And people go, oh no, if you eat carbs at night, you'll store them as fat. It doesn't work that way. That's actually not true. I call that the insulin fairy. It doesn't work that way, right? It doesn't work that way. When you eat your third largest carb, now it's not a large meal, right? Because like if you get 200 carbs in the day, 120 of them are around your workout. Right. So you really only get 80 the rest of the day. That's all vegetables. So maybe like a half a cup of oatmeal at night. You'll get it. Because what do people do when they eat carbs? They get tired.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Okay.
They drop their cortisol levels. And they can help them sleep a little bit at night. Because we want to address sleeping. Big time.
We know how important sleep is. Like, and that's another thing that's unlocked recently is like, oh wow, like I've neglected the most important thing my whole life. That's weird.
Yeah, right. Because you're a marketer. What do you do at night?
And then I was a cop before that, so it's like,
dude, how many cops do you like? Can we leak a little bit about what we're doing with cops a little bit?
100%.
Okay. So I've worked with first responders with Tyler Harris. You were a first responder for 20 years. I've seen a roll call at 6 a.m. where the guys coming off their shift are walking zombies, bro, right? And they're like, I got 2 hours of paperwork and I got to take my kid to school.
Yeah.
Right. And so you have a big community of first responders that you work with, and we're launching that first responder plan. And it's a nutrition fitness plan for first responders. If there's not a group of people that need a stronger support backbone in this country, it's first responders. Now, I'm not going to get political. Some of that has changed since 2016. So whatever, right? But it's amazing we're not hearing about cops attacking people anymore, right? Sure. But they need that support, and they don't sleep. I bet if you look, go ahead. I bet if you look at the life expectancy of a law enforcement officer that was there for 25 years, their life expectancy is less. Their sleep is bad. If you sleep 5 hours or less, you're 50% more likely to be obese.
Here's what I know about cops and firemen. Okay, they're working 60 hours a week. The nutrition, so there's really fit cops, and then there's everybody else.
Yeah.
Because unless you're meal prepping and bringing your food, you're fucked.
Yes.
You eat out of your car every day, bro. Like, if it's not at a restaurant or drive-through that you can get in 10 minutes, you're not eating it. Like, most of my Thanksgivings as a police officer were at Jack in the Box, because guess what? Nobody else is fucking open, right? Yeah. Like, that's the reality of it. So nutrition is horrible. They live on Red Bulls and coffee. They don't sleep, and they go through spurts of working out. But because I've lived it inside and out. So like, there's these guys who they're warriors. They love the workout, but they don't have any nutrition knowledge. They don't understand sleep. So like, with that fitness program, like, I want to get that info to them. Like,
address stress.
The stress. You know how many cops that I worked with that died within the first 5 years of their retirement?
Really?
Oh, we had a guy, one of my favorite sergeants I ever worked with, didn't even get his first retirement check, died, like diving in Catalina, right? Like, it's just like the amount of stress and lack of nutrition and sleep and even hydration, all of those things can be addressed. I'm super excited about that program. We're going to rock that out, and just those little things, I'm hoping that we can just kind of flip some switches, and it'll be pretty awesome. So
yeah,
it's going to be good.
And I know we kind of got sidetracked. We're talking about carb cycling. But carb cycling is literally just eating the carbs when you need them, and that's around your working out. Now, we also calorie cycling. Now, it makes sense, right? If you're not working out, do you need to eat the same amount of calories as you do the day you are working out? No, you don't. The problem is you kind of have to prep for 2 or 3 different days. You have to prep for the high carb day, the medium carb day, and the low carb day. And that's a lot for people sometimes. You don't want to throw that at them right away, right? But I love carb cycling, and I say this all the time, because my grocery cart looks like a normal human being's grocery cart, right? And when I did nothing but really, 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 really high carbs, and I'm doing that on my days now, it is so weird to go into a grocery store and your cart is chicken, turkey, and meat, like it normally is, because protein stays consistent. But the rest of it is like 2 bags of potatoes, 2 bags of sweet potatoes, 4 different kinds of boxes of rice, because you want brown rice, white rice, quinoa rice, whole grain. I mean, you're at some point you're just like, the excitement in my day is I get a different rice. Right? And it's like, wow, a potato cold out of the fridge. I'm so excited. But then on those low carb days, you're like, wow, eggs and bacon. I could swim in it right now. Like, I could smother it in my face like Hannibal Lecter, and put the bacon on my face and eat it. Because
that's what I live on my low carb days, bro.
Yeah, sure. Eggs, bacon, steak, peanut butter.
I got my chickens out back. I go out and get my eggs in the morning, bro. 3 eggs every day. Fresh as it gets. They're like 5 minutes old.
That's right. You got chickens in the backyard. Yeah. So, I mean, carb cycling works like that. It's a great plan for like a phase 3 for somebody that's like, all right, I understand being in a deficit. I understand meal prep. I understand working out. Now I want something to the next level. Carb cycling is not for people. Carb cycling is for people who are in shape, who want to now get in stupid shape.
Yeah.
Right? I think I've read a lot of articles that say, like, it's for a man under 20%, or it's for a male 15 to 18% body fat, and for a female like 20 to 22, like 19 to 22%, somewhere in there, right? If you're heavier, if you're overweight, if you have visible fat, all you need to do is be in a caloric deficit, watch your carb intake, hit your protein, and be active.
Right.
Right? So there's a lot of people that might get on the Phenom phase 1, phase 2, and say, hey, I'm ready for phase 3. And we work with them. And I say, hey, stay in phase 2 for 8 more weeks.
Right.
So it's built to be 3-4 week phases. But somebody could literally go on this plan for 6 months before they ever hit phase 3, right? We have an educational tool on using MyFitnessPal. That is one of those things that I've been disconnected with from people because I've used it for so long. It's like, you ever talk to somebody who uses a PC and they're like, hey, I'm going to buy a Mac. And you're like, oh, that's sweet. You'll love it. Here's all the stuff you need to do on it. And they're like, what?
Yeah.
But like, literally, if somebody handed me a PC right now, I'd be like, what's this, a dinosaur?
Dude, I tried to type my 6-year-old PC the other day, and I was like,
oh, yeah, this is so weird. Aren't the keys even weird? You're like,
terrible.
You're like, what? Like, I don't even know how this works.
It was awful, bro.
But that's what MyFitnessPal is. I had to go back and kind of rewire my brain on how I taught myself.
Right.
We're showing you how to track your food. We're showing you how to work out. We have video. We have a YouTube playlist. So the workouts for phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, we give you a link to the playlist so you're educated on what the exercises are. Where this is different than the 7 and the 12-week one we made for people, those are muscle building programs. This one has like circuits.
Right.
Higher intensity training circuits, right? Because we want to have circuits. Like, we have phase 3 has really a brutal day. It's a low carb, low calorie with a high intense circuit day. And it's getting all that glycogen out of your body, right? And then after that, you're staying on 2 low carb days.
Yep.
Then you're refeeding on a high carb day. And I tell people this all the time. When you go into that low carb day, the oatmeal tastes like ice cream. It does. The oatmeal tastes like ice cream, and you almost feel like you have like this serotonin buzz. Because serotonin is one of those things, when you eat high carbs, you get a little serotonin buzz. It's actually the same buzz you get when you get a text message on your phone. Have you ever seen somebody get a text message and they go, ooh.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
The text message.
Tell me about it, bro. I'm a marketer. I'm like, notification.
Yeah.
What's
a notification on your phone. What is it? Yeah. Well, I mean, you got like automatic signups for stuff. And you're like, ding, somebody signed up. Oh, right? So that's the same serotonin that your body gets when you get like a text message or you get a notification or you eat carbs. You get this little like, this little buzz, right? But it changes your palate.
Yes.
Right? Like, your palate's different now. I bet if you ate a donut right now, it would almost be overwhelming. Like, look at your face.
I'm not. Honestly, that sounds disgusting to me. And that's not being like, oh, I'm trying to get fit. Donuts are gross. Like, it really sounds gross to me. Like, I wouldn't even want it.
Yeah. Like, if you sat down to eat with your kids, and like, you got a weird house dynamics. You got vegans and pescatarians and all these things.
And my son eats Cheez-Its, so I mean,
right. Yeah. My kid lives off veggie straws and but like, I don't have those cravings anymore. And again, that's not me saying like, I'm not getting on the moral high ground of, oh, look how good I am. Right. I think if I ate a donut right now, I would feel unhealthy, because I think you're supposed to feel unhealthy if you eat a donut.
Yeah.
You should never get used to eating. Like, you should never eat a dozen donuts in the morning and be like, let's attack the day.
And I used to be that guy. Like, honestly, I'd be like the guy who would eat like 2 donuts at work and then go lift in the gym for an hour. Like, how stupid was that?
Yeah. And I think this plan, what I love the most about this PhnmBrand diet plan, one, it's free.
We never told him it was free.
Yeah, we did. We should change that. We should charge 99 cents. Just almost like an absurd, like.
Just to make them pull out their credit card and do something to get it. Like, just still they have to do a little work to get it, right?
Yeah, right. Just 99 cents, right? And we give it away for free. So that's really cool. That's huge value, right? And I love the fact that you can literally get on this plan and you have to go nowhere else for a resource. Like, dude, I forgot. We have a shop. We have a preferred food list.
Yes. We didn't even talk about it.
And crap. We have this. See, this is how much stuff we put in this thing. We have a preferred food.
Like how he says we, like, it's not really we. It's all him. But he gives me credit. I like, go ahead.
Well, because see, listen, I've had a kid at school ask me, hey, potatoes are a protein, right? I'm like, wow, we're starting at square one here. Right? Like,
yeah, French fries are great protein. You'll love it.
Well, I just had somebody early, that asked me, was like, hey, you were talking about getting good quality carbs. Obviously, that's not French fries, right? They text me that, and I think the only reason they text me is because there's that 1% of them that wishes I came back with, like, no, you're good.
Yeah, they're cool. No worries.
Cool. Eat those French fries. But we have a food list where it's like, hey, here are healthy fats, like a preferred list of fruits and vegetables, right? Now, I don't think there's really any fruit and vegetables that's bad for you.
Yeah.
But like, let's just have a little list of some good ones that you can eat from.
Well, there's levels to all food and everything, right? Like, this is the best you can do. Like, this is what you should eat. And then there's everything else.
Well, I tell people the poison is in the dose. Fruits aren't bad. But if you sat down and ate a whole watermelon, probably a bad idea.
A little bit of sugar there.
Probably a lot of calories in there, right? Like, hey, carbohydrates aren't bad, but eating 12 donuts, probably bad.
Not so good.
Right? So we have, and I'm a big believer in single source carbs, meaning the only ingredient there is the actual food. Like a potato, the only ingredient there is a potato. Rice.
This brings up something about what I'm going through in a good way from your plans is I'm becoming this like whole food nerd because like I've got 2 options. I'm either scanning a fucking barcode, or I'm trying to figure out what's in this food to track it. And if it's got too much stuff going on, I'm not eating it. Like if it's more like 4 or 5 ingredients, I'm out because it's too much work.
Yeah, isn't that awful? Yeah, isn't that awful sometimes, right?
But what I find is most of the food that I should be eating only has a few ingredients, and they're usually all food.
Yeah.
And not a bunch of shit I can't pronounce.
Yeah, right. Like Eggo waffles are one of my things that's a
cheat meal for me, bro. Is that bad? Yeah. Don't tell me that's bad.
No, I
get it. It's like my cheat meal when I need carbs. I track it though.
Yeah, and I'm the same. Dude,
I got to tell you one more guilty sin. I know it's bad, but I found this 0-calorie syrup. And this is a once a week activity. This is like
I know what you're talking about.
0 calorie, and you look at it, and it's like sucralose. Oh, it's horrible shit.
Oh yeah,
it's terrible. But I'm like, it's just once a week.
Here's the deal, man. If it's once a week and you're using it, it's a lot better than you going and getting like maple syrup that's like 30 grams of sugar per teaspoon.
Right. And then I think, okay, in my former life, I would have drinking 4 Pepsis today. So this one thing is not going to kill me that I've done perfect for 6 days and I eat this.
You know, that's how I am about diet soda and Splenda. Dude, it's funny how people judge the fit guy, right? It is funny. Like, I'll be around a bunch of people and crack open a Diet Dr. Pepper. They'll be like,
how dare you, sir?
Sinner. And I'm like, listen, I don't do I put very few little bad things in my body. This diet soda is not a big deal, right? Just for true transparencies, I went through days in my life where 8 pain pills were like Tic Tacs.
Yeah.
right? You know what I'm saying? Like 8 Vicodin in a day, and I'm not sweating. Hey, if those didn't kill me, this Diet Dr. Pepper's, my body can handle this.
Dude.
I'll put Splenda in something. Listen, I don't care what Facebook tells you. Diet Coke and Splenda is not going to give you Alzheimer's. It might have killed the rat because they gave him 100 extra doses of it. But you could give that rat 100 extra doses of ibuprofen to kill that rat, right? So when people read a lot of research, so we've talked about leptin and ghrelin here. I don't know if we talked about leptin and ghrelin, where ghrelin is the hunger hormone. Leptin's the full hormone. That they did a bunch of studies a long time ago that when they injected a rat with leptin, the rat lost weight. So what do you think? Hey, we have the cure for obesity. So they got all these test subjects and injected them with leptin. It didn't do anything. The body didn't synthesize it. It didn't do anything in humans, right? So always be a little bit of a skeptic when the lead research says rats.
Right. Makes sense. Well, and it's the whole moderation thing anyways. Isn't that what we're talking about? I mean,
it is moderation, right?
We're not trying to be miserable 100% of the time.
Well, you know, there's been times in my life where if I dieted so hard, I would be that person that went to a family cookout and took my food. And don't be that a-hole sometimes, right? Like, you can do it. Like, I understand if you're trying to diet because you want to get on stage, and I do work with those people that want to get on stage. That's different. You're dieting for 30-minute situation where you're absolutely shredded. One day,
yep.
Right? And it's a goal. It's like running a marathon. It's a goal. You want to get on stage that one day and maximize what your body can do. But if you're just doing it for the purposes of vanity, and you go on your whole family somewhere, eat a little bit of the food in moderation. In the long run, it's not going to hurt you.
Right.
Really, in the long run, it's not going to hurt you. Like, maybe the next day, cut your calories back a little bit. But
you just make the smartest choices you can while you're there, right? That's kind of like if you get in a situation, you're like, all right, it'd be better if I just ate this and skip that. I mean,
there's this guy, and I'll share it in the group. There's this guy, he's out of Toronto. His name's like I think he's from the Bronx. His name's like Louis Garano or something like that. And I'll share his link in the group. He puts up really good content. And he put up a post and he said, nobody got fat from one donut. Nobody got healthy from one salad.
Nice. That's
perfect. It was one of those things I read and went, yeah, makes sense. Recently, I put a post out that talked about entitlement. Like, there's a whole lot of people that want to get the results but don't want to put the work in. And that's called entitlement. I actually got that from a video he made, where he literally made a video talking about, like, you're not entitled to anything without doing the work first. And you deal with that in business building all the time, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know? And I thought, man, that really is what it is. It's entitlement. People want to start a diet and be skinny in 2 days because they feel entitled to having a really good body without putting in the really hard work.
Yeah.
Right? Like, how many times have me and you worked with people on content? I want to blow up my business and my social value. All right, where's your content?
Yeah, next week. I'm working on it next week. And then
next week. Videos last month. What? Yeah. How many times have we heard, hey, I'll get a video to you next week?
When I hear that, I'm like, oh, yeah, see you in a couple weeks. And then I'm reminding you for it.
Yeah, you probably won't be here next month, right? So the Phenom diet, I think, gives everybody – you don't have any excuses anymore. You really don't. Get the diet. And listen, if you're looking for support, go look at some of the threads in our group. I put up a post off the whim because one of the things I'm horrible at is I don't have good recipes. I'm a dude. I take white rice, I take ground turkey, and I take green salsa. And I take a spoon and I shovel it in my face off the pan. That's as easy as it is. moms and women, mostly women, I hope everybody thinks it's sexist. I'm not being sexist. Just men are dumb and women actually have creativity. They want these recipes. And I literally, yeah. They want it to taste good. I'm just like, listen, we sampled that product, the Dirty, no BS, that the guy. That is literally like taking lemon juice and smokeless tobacco. I almost threw up.
That would have been awesome if you did, bro.
Yeah.
Could you please throw up on a podcast?
Lemon juice, smokeless tobacco, mixing it in water and shooting it. It doesn't taste good at all. But that's kind of the cool thing about it. Like, if you can handle the shot, you can handle.
I like that, though. I'm a freak like that.
It's really cool, right? Like,
you know, speaking of pre-workout, bro, like I'm sure you can relate to this, but what I used to find fun is when I was working, I was a sergeant in a jail, okay? And in the jail, they have really good gyms, big gyms. And as a sergeant, you can go in there for fucking 2 hours if you want to. Yeah. So I'd go in there with like my other sergeant buddies, and we'd wreck it for like 90 minutes in this big, huge gym by ourselves while everybody else is working, right? But the fun part was at about 3 a.m. is when we'd start our pre-workout. Ooh. And we realized we're really tired at 3 a.m. because we go work out at 4.
Yeah.
So we had that C4, right?
Old C4, old C4 that had the crystal meth C4. Yeah.
The tingling fucking, right? Yeah. So we take
the Breaking Bad C4.
2 scoops, okay? And then just about in a paper, or in like a plastic cup with about this much, just enough water to dissolve it, bro. And just swirl it around and boom, down the hatch, and we just wait. All right, how long can we last? Until like our face was like on fire, and then we go work out.
Your lips are tingly?
Oh, dude. It was to get that down, it was gnarly, but it was so worth it. It was so awesome. Probably terrible for you.
That old C4, they had to redo the formula. I remember they had to redo the formula. Because that whole C4, bro, I think you probably could have cooked that up and mainlined it.
It was gnarly, bro.
Yeah, I bet there were junkies in the backyard like mainlining C4, just like drawing it out of a spoon.
It was bad.
That stuff was awful. But the dirty pre-workout, like that stuff tastes so bad. But I like today when I worked out, I mixed it, and I got a cup, and I'm in the car, and I'm like, it's like that 21st birthday when somebody hands you like a glass of bourbon, you're like, this might change my life. That moment, and you just chug, boom, put it down and go work out. So I don't really care about how our food tastes.
No. It's a plus if it tastes good, though. Come on.
If it tastes good, you're kind of like, that was cool.
Yeah.
That was cool. So I put that post up about, hey, I think we need to start having some content around recipes and meal prepping. And it was like 32 comments long of people dropping recipes. And so if you don't, yeah, right. Like I like when you were like, who needs a fork for peanut butter? I've done that, dude. I've done that. I've taken my finger and run all the way around the inside of boom, and hit it. I've been like,
crack it, bro. It's all good.
That's about a tablespoon.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, we're good. It's amazing how big a tablespoon gets as you justify it, right?
Yeah, you're like, this is about a tablespoon. Oh.
Hey, is it lying if I put it in my Fitness Pal that way? No. But
hey, by the way, you know what I do now? I'm going to cut you off real quick. I put in my food before I eat it, and then I take some back. And it's awesome. Like if I don't eat it all, I'll just take it back. I'm like,
oh, that's a good idea. I used to do that and preload. I used to preload the next day in my Fitness Pal because I knew I was going to do it. Wow. But so you got support, dude. People like women came in there and put in like really cool recipes, and I'm like, wow, I'm getting unbelievable value from this thread. So you will get tips, dude. Listen, Mike Wines is like I had to tell him today. I was like, hey, Mike, you might want to reply back to that girl in English.
He's smart.
Because he's so smart.
He's really smart.
He's so smart. And sometimes people read his posts and are like, I don't even know what he said. I read his posts. And I'm like, I don't. What? Huh?
He was talking about, I don't even know what he was talking about.
I don't even know what he's talking about either. But like.
He's the next guest, I think, by the way.
Yeah, we're going to talk about sleep, which is going to blow people's mind. Sleep is ridiculous. So, he talked a girl through this whole process of some issues she was having with food in like 7 or 8 posts, and I was just like, she probably would have wasted hundreds of dollars figuring out stuff to eat that she could do that didn't mess with a food allergy. So there's huge value in there, right? So get on the Phenom diet and the fitness plan. They coincide together. Get in the group, ask questions.
Free.
It's free. The group, everything is going to be, the group is free. We have supplement ideas. Now, here's where I tell, and somebody asked me about supplements in the group. They're like, hey, I read all your videos, or I watched all your videos. I watched all the supplement videos. I watched all the calorie videos. Do I really need supplements? And I was like, well, it's kind of a you question, right? Like, we use supplements to do a couple things. One, to get their protein requirement.
It's hard. It's hard to get.
Not a little protein shake, right? So preserve muscle, build muscle. That's like creatine protein. And then help you be mentally compliant. So protein curbs hunger, makes you feel full so you can comply to your program. Exogenous ketones help you comply because they help with cravings and help support muscle. Creatine helps you with your workouts, helps support muscle. So we're either trying to, with our supplements, we're either trying to get you more protein or help you be more compliant. Because the number one people fail at any diet, I don't care if it's Mediterranean diet, I don't care if it's a plant-based diet, I don't care if it's a keto, I don't care if it's carb cycling, I don't care what it is. The only reason people fail is because they're either not in a deficit or they don't comply.
You mean the insulin fairy actually cares about calories? Like if you burn less than you take in, you don't lose weight if you're in ketosis?
What do you mean? I know that's a joke, but I'm lost.
So just to point that out, like you're talking about different diets, right?
Yeah.
Calorie deficit is number one.
That's
most important.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
Yeah. If you do keto.
Thank you. That's what I want you to do.
Yeah. If you do keto and you're still in a caloric surplus, you will not get results.
There is no insulin fairy.
Yes, there is no insulin fairy. Everybody tries to blame everything on insulin. Okay. We flat out don't lose weight because we overeat. We have a mutual friend that says, have you ever seen, look, like, here's another myth. Oh, I gained weight because my metabolism shut down because I don't eat enough. Well, that doesn't really work that way. And we have a friend of ours that says, I've never seen somebody gain weight on the show Naked and Afraid.
Yeah.
Right?
That's funny.
Right? They've all lost weight because they're not eating calories.
Like Survivor.
Like Survivor. I've never seen somebody get fat on Survivor. They look miserable, which I was actually recruited to that show like 10 years ago.
What happened? Why didn't you do it?
Not a chance. Couldn't do it.
You're crazy. You could have been famous.
No, I wouldn't have done it. I'd have been, you know what I would have been famous on? And my wife doesn't even think this is funny. I would have been famous on The Bachelor.
What?
I would have been famous because the best guy to ever go on The Bachelor, there's this guy. I know this is off topic.
That's all right.
It's still entertaining. There's this guy in one of the seasons, and this might be one of the only 2 episodes I've ever watched. And I like,
oh yeah, great, yeah. Get that out there.
Yeah, I had to get that.
Everyone's believing that, dude. Go ahead.
Don't emasculate me on this show.
Let me just talk about the 2 episodes I've seen.
So, you know when they bring the Bachelorette in, and like all the guys are there and they all meet her?
No,
this guy's sitting there.
I'm not aware of this at all. Actually,
don't lie. They're all getting tanked. There's tanked.
They're getting tanked?
Tanked. No, tanked.
Oh, I was like, what? That's fast.
Yeah, that's an interesting. That Bachelor is probably coming out anyway. But
We are going sideways.
I don't care because this is funny. The girl comes in. They all meet him. And this guy's drinking. And there's like 30 dudes in the room. And he looks at his guys and he goes, I thought the Bachelorette was supposed to be hot. And I heard him say that and I fall over.
Oh.
Funniest thing I've ever heard. The funny part is he makes it down to the final 5. And at the final 5, he's like, I'm not into this, and he leaves.
Shut up.
I want to be that guy.
It's too late now, dude.
I know. I can't do that now.
You've already blown your opportunity.
I did. I blew my opportunity.
Your wife wouldn't appreciate it much.
But even when I tell my wife, I was like, hey, that'd be really funny if I went on The Bachelorette and I got that guy. Then she looks at me sideways like, why is that funny? All right, well, I guess it's not funny.
You know, she can see this. Actually, she won't. Wives never watch.
But I'd love to be on reality. If you were on a reality TV show, what could you have done? Could you do Survivor?
I could do Survivor. I wouldn't be scared of Survivor.
You really think you could suck that up?
Yeah. I went to Ranger School, but I'm not scared of Survivor.
You went to Ranger School, that's right.
Yeah, I'm not scared of Survivor. So.
Yeah, after Ranger School, you're like, Survivor.
Well, I could have been on Cops a bunch of times. They would show up on scenes, and I'd be like, I'm out of here. Gone.
Yeah. I think if I was on Survivor, I'd be that guy, like, at night when they turn the lights off. I'd be like, all right, so where's the hotel?
All right, we're done, right? Like, we're done shooting?
We're done, right? Like
where's my Star Wagon?
Over here, like, there's fruit and vegetables. Like, there's a steak, right? I don't think I could do – what's the one where they travel around?
Oh, Amazing Race?
Yeah, I couldn't do that. I'd be a nervous wreck.
No, I don't like all that. I'm gonna be like around crowded people like that. Anyways, in towns and cities and stuff.
Or the ones where they're like, you have to eat something gross.
Like Fear Factor?
No, I couldn't do that. The one where
Fear Factor.
Like where they put like tarantulas on your face.
No, well, they eat they're eating like cow nuts and stuff, and you're like, no, I'm good.
Oh, dude, I couldn't do that.
Fermented this and that.
Yeah, Big Brother, I couldn't do that. I'd get in a fight. Easy. Within 48 hours. I'd choke somebody out without 48 hours.
I'm too aggressive for Big Brother.
Yeah, within 48 hours, I'd have the hooks in and just someone would be out on live TV, and I'd be famous. Yeah, I don't think I could.
I think we've covered it, my friend.
Yeah, we just went off tangent, but that was a good subject.
Okay, though. I'm good with that. So I'm going to do my thing. Thank you, Josh. You're the man. Phenom Diet Plan is awesome. It's not just a diet. It's a workout. It's a lot of different things. Teach you how to eat. Get it. In the show links here, you're going to see it. Phenom Fitness, you're going to see it. It's in our group. If you're not in our group, in our community, that's where everything happens. Josh is talking about it a little bit. We have other fitness professionals showing up every day, providing value. It's getting better and better. It's awesome. Make sure you do that. If you're watching us on YouTube, subscribe. If you're on iTunes, subscribe. If you're watching us on like the other 12 places, subscribe, right?
Yes.
Look us up, pass us around, and we appreciate it. Anything else, Josh?
Yep, we're good.
All right.
All right, later.
See you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.